And I'm going to start by saying something that might sound a little weird. Something that is not new, but it might sound a little weird for some of you. It's been happening for hundreds of years. Actually, it's been happening for thousands of years. And your patients might not be taking care of themselves that well or that often, but they are taking care of each other. Some of us ignore it, some of us dismiss it, some of us fight it. Most of us are denying it. We are all sitting together on the banks of the longest river in Egypt called the Nile. Patients are out there helping each other every day. My name is Yishai Knobel, and I'm the co-founder and CEO of HelpAround. I also run the Israeli chapter of Health 2.0, the largest conference in the world for mobile and internet-based technologies for healthcare and wellness. Most recently, I came from Matrix, which was an amazing company that created the first glucose monitor that enabled the patient, the diabetic patient, to test the blood glucose straight into the iPhone. I'm a geek by training and a geek by personality, and I'm happy to bring an angle that is that of the non-healthcare professional, of the pure consumer. And I want to start by introducing Justin. Justin is 8 years old. And what you can't tell about him in the first look is that Justin is type 1 diabetic. He deals with supplies, he deals with syringes, glucagon emergency kit, insulin, I'm sorry, this is just keep jumping, test strips. This is his life. Every day he has to carry all these things and test nonstop. As a patient, Justin has a few characteristics. He has a frontal lobe. I know it's shocking. A frontal lobe means that he has an opinion, he has a free will, he has ideas, he is really busy, he's out there. 99% of the time he's not at the clinic, 99% of the time he's out and about, living a very active lifestyle. Justin is out there with his diabetes, making choices every day. Choices what to test, when to titrate insulin. He is an expert about his own diabetes. He might not be a doctor. He might not have the training, but he has the expertise of living with diabetes. He does go every now and then to the doctor to get his checkup, learning what he should do, consult with the professionals. But when he goes back home, he goes back to making choices. And this is the reality of a patient that has a chronic condition. And one of the choices was quite crucial when he was at a stadium, at a big sporting event, 20,000 people in the crowd. And Justin forgot his test strips at home. He ran out. This was the last one. And at that point, Justin had a few options. Type 1 diabetic, you can't not test. You can go back to the car, start looking for a pharmacy in the area. You can start driving to back at home, which was about an hour away. All these options are not that great. But if you figure out, wait a second, there are 20,000 spectators in the stadium. There are 10% of them who are diabetic in the audience. The only question is, and 1 in 10 could be a helper for Justin. If Justin was only able to find the right person in the crowd to help them, they would be okay. This is when we invented HelpAround. HelpAround is a mobile safety net for the chronic patient, because we figured out that we are able to identify the people around you who might be able to help you. If you're stuck with a question or without supplies, or you're just not feeling quite well and you don't have the medical professional right there with you, these people are there. Are we able to find them and help each other? And more than that, would they help each other? Let's come back to that. When we think of peers helping each other, we think of something quite traditional. We think of support groups. Support groups, when people come together, sit in a room, talk about it, it kind of makes sense, right? Except it doesn't quite work that way. Even though support groups and peer support among patients does yield medical outcomes, logistically it's too complicated. It's awkward. It doesn't happen as often. It's just too hard. Today it looks like this. It looks like this, and it has all the advantages. It's personal. Our phone is our most personal device. It's with us everywhere. It's available to us wherever we go and any time of the day in the most intimate situations. It's easy. It's familiar. We know how to use it. It's private, and at the same time, it's public. I can be private with my medical condition, but I can also be public and control it with the people that I see them, with the people that I want to connect to, which produces a shielded experience. And that's something that no in-person interaction can provide. This is part of a movement called the sharing economy. Sharing economy is a socioeconomic system that's built around the sharing of human and physical resources. This goes back to the kibbutz. This goes back to Fiddler on the Roof and the shtetl, which were successful forms of communities coming together to help each other and share resources every day. Now let's fast forward to 2014. Airbnb. Airbnb is a service that allows anyone to be a B&B, a bed and breakfast. Open your house, open your home to people. You can host them, you can charge them for that. 10 million guests so far at Airbnb. 500,000 properties are listed worldwide. Airbnb was just valued at $10 billion. And it's all about people sharing resources between themselves. Lyft. These are the cars that are driving San Francisco today with the pink mustache, where anyone can become a taxi driver. Anyone can start driving other people, charge them for it, and overall we're reaching $6 billion in revenue by 2020 in the car sharing industry. So this question, can the sharing economy invade healthcare, is irrelevant. It already has. It's already happening. Chaverim L'Refuah is an Israeli organization that collects supplies and medicine from people who have excess capacity and gives them out to other people in need. You have the groups on Facebook and on online forums of thousands and thousands of patients. Amutat Mifarkim Tzirim is one of them. If you go to the IBS support community on Facebook, 12,000 members. Type 1 diabetics paid forward, 3,000 members. People helping each other every day, and that's where the patients spend their time when they're not with you in your clinic. It used to be Google. Now it's Facebook. It's in those communities. It's so much easier. It's so much more fun, as much as a medical condition can be fun. So in HelpAround, we said, you know what? We're going to provide you that safety net in a way that makes sense. Because all these movements are happening, they're just not that well organized. These are all grassroots movements of patient communities come together. But now, as we get closer to the world, as we are in the world of mobile, in the world of connectivity, in the world of everything in your pocket, now we can start making this a reality and connect people not just online, but physically with each other in their town. I invite you to install HelpAround and find diabetes helpers in Jerusalem right now. You will immediately find dozens of people who live in Jerusalem and share the same condition. Right now it's diabetes. In the future it will be anything else. This is Annie. She was type 1. She was pregnant. Her insurance wouldn't cover her supplies anymore. This is Becky. Immediately, how many boxes do you need? I don't know you. She lived on the other side of the US. Is that enough? Can I send you more supplies? Just let me know. This is Jenny from Idaho. She was fed up with her doctor, with her arrogant doctor. Doesn't want to listen to my symptoms. This is a direct quote from Jenny. And she found nearby in Boise, Idaho, somebody with similar symptoms with a great doctor who shared their info. This is consumerization of healthcare. This is choices. Because it's brought to our local mobile phone, wherever we are, it's available to us, and we're going to be using it as patients. So now it's our turn to make choices. What do we do? What does a doctor do when the patient comes back and says, yeah, but I have a community of other patients, and they said that their doctors told them X, Y, and Z. Or they actually have much more choices to switch doctors. It's so much easier now. We can fight it, we can deny it again, or we can join it and we can help steer it. What can a medical professional do to be part of this movement? I know there are a lot of risks, but I want to talk to you about the opportunity. People, this is Atlanta, January 2014, earlier this year, an ice storm caught people stranded in the cars for hours. Part of the time it was days, unable to get to their caregivers or get their medical supplies. Do the math. 1 in 10 people in these cars is diabetic. If somebody's stuck without supplies or needs help, they can actually find somebody who knows how to operate glucagon emergency kit if you went low. The Juvenile Diabetes Research Foundation of Georgia tweeted, please install HelpAround so that you find people in the area. This means that people who otherwise could be dead are able to find each other and get out of these situations. This is the opportunity in patient communities connecting on the go. And it's going to happen. It's already happening. And we should all be part of it. This is Justin. Remember him? Fast forward, Justin is not 8 years old, he's 21 years old. He just won the Maccabiah hockey championship on behalf of the Canadian hockey team. These are his parents. His father is the first investor in HelpAround. Let's get together and help Justin worry only about the score of the game from now on. Thank you.